Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, friends. Good morning, sir. We are from Group 5, and here we would like to present our discussion about presupposition material. So first, let me introduce our group members. First, me, Fanesa Maharani as the moderator. The second speaker is Fany Amelia Rozani. And then the third speaker is Azzahra Allya. The fourth speaker is Alifficka Lourensia, and the last speaker is Aidin. Now, without any further ado, I will present my article review. Next, Aidin. So the title is An Analysis of Presupposition Found in the Guardian News, Pragmatical Approach, Journal of English Education, volume number and pages, volume 6, number 1, pages 1 until 8. Year 2020. Authors Krisnova Katalonika Siahaan and Zia Hisni Mubarak. Reviewer Fanesa Maharani. Date 29 October 2021. Next. Introduction. Pragmatic is the science that identifies how units of language are used in speech for carrying out communication. One of the things that become a topic in pragmatic is presupposition. An utterance can be said to presuppose or preach other utterance. If the speech untruth, that presumption results in the truth, or speech untruth cannot be said at all. News can be filled with some presupposition. This author will do research on 3 rebel armies fighting for liberation from Indonesian joint forces under a movement headed by exiled leader Benny Wenda. Next. Research questions or aim. This article aims to find presupposition in the Guardian News. Research methodology is this article uses qualitative descriptive research. The method of collecting data is by observation. Next. Findings and discussion. First, there is existential presupposition. The data is, however, one alleged party, the long-running domestic separatist group OPM, has rejected the announcement as lies and fabrication. The presupposition is there is a separatist group and a separatist group named OPM exists. The above presuppositions are included in existential presuppositions because it contains the existence of an entity that named by the speaker. Next. Lexical presupposition. The data is a leading West Papuan independence organization claims to have unified 3 rebel armies under its control. Presupposition. Previously, the three rebel soldiers didn't unite. The explanation is the presupposition above is a lexical presupposition due to it is expressed in an implied manner, so that confirmation of the statement of utterance can be obtained after the statement of an utterance. Next. Counterfactual presupposition. The data is we won't know it's real until we see coordinated armed actions both in Duga and beyond. Presupposition is not real. The explanation is presupposition above is one example of counterfactual presupposition because the presupposition produces an understanding that is contrary to the statement. Next. Conclusion and suggestion. Existential presupposition are mostly occurred in the Guardian News. It shows that presuppositions that assume the existence of something that indicate ownership or the existence of statement in speech that are commonly found in source of data. Those who have the same problem and interested in conducting this research, it is suggested that this research can be a reference. Next. Critical review. This article is very informative. The findings and discussion answer the aim of this research. It also used daily vocabulary so the readers can understand it. The researchers conveyed the aim of this article nicely. Next. Advantages. The advantages of reading the article is that the readers can understand the article. It also useful for readers, especially students who are still confused on understanding presupposition. Disadvantages, unfortunately, there are still some weaknesses in this article. The conclusion given is too short. It uses repetitive sentences. Also, the suggestion doesn't give any advice for targeting audience such as students. Okay, that's all from me. The next material will be presented by Fany. Fany, time is yours.
Okay, thank you, moderator. I'll present about preposition, and entailment found in Angels and Demons movie dialogue. Journal, a journal humanis, Fakultas Sastra dan Budaya UNUD, volume 14, number 1, page 73 until 79, year 2016, authors Nikadek Ayu Prahadisini, reviewer Fany Amelia Rozani, date November 5, 2021. Next. Introduction. Several forms of information are communicated in a discussion that are not meant to be communicated, but become part of the dialogue itself. Presupposition is a speaker's presupposition that becomes true before they make their statement. The research looked at this sort of assumption and implication in a movie dialogue called Angels and Demons. Next. Research question or aims questions. What types of prepositions were found in the Angel and Demons movie dialogues? 2. What entailments of utterance that contain presuppositions were found in the Angel and Demons movie dialogues? Aims to analyze the type of presupposition used in the Angels and Demons movie dialogues. 2. The analysis the entailments of the utterance that contain presupposition in Angels and Demons movie dialogues. Next. Research method. The research used the qualitative method. The data were collected using the documentation method, and this method was supported with several techniques such as reading, watching, observing, note-taking, and typing techniques. Next. Findings. The presupposition of lockdown's utterance, the Kranz canopy for Illuminati signs, is the Kranz as exists. It means by uttering his utterance, it can be seen that Langdon assumed that the Kranz exists. The type of presupposition in the data is existential presupposition because the noun is the Langdon's utterance is a definite noun, the Kranz, which is a characteristic of existential presupposition. The entailment of Langdon's utterance in the data, the Kranz canopy for illuminate signs is described as follows. A. The Kranz canopy for Illuminati signs. B. Somebody canopy for Illuminati signs. C. The Kranz did something to for Illuminati signs. D. The Kranz canopy someday. Information B and D is the entailment of Langdon's utterance. That information follows the surface meaning from its surface meaning. Entailment has no relation with the speaker's intention or speaker's meaning to the hearer. Its information represents each part of the utterance, or one of them explains about the subject and another about the object. Next. Conclusion, the entailment of an utterance is not influenced by the speaker meanings or the speaker intention to the hearer, but it naturally follows the utterance from its surface meaning. And there are 3 types of preposition found in Angels and Demons movie dialogues: existential, factive, and contrafactual. Critical review. This article can already explain what presupposition is for readers. The author explained the related topics clearly and easily to understood. Overall, according to systematic is good enough because the author has followed the right rules, but in terms of theory, there is still a lot that needs to be added, such as reading from books and others. And the method described are also adequately clear, and the author's findings section provides only one example. And in the conclusion section, the author mentioned 3 are the types of presupposition found in the Angels and Demons movie dialogues, but it's not written in his findings. Next. Advantages, get a new vocabulary and get the knowledge of what a preposition is. Disadvantage, the introduction is too short. Some of information provided is less clear and there is no suggestion for further research. Okay, back to moderator.
Okay, thank you, Fany, for your review. Next is the material will the review will be read by Azzahra Allya. To Azzahra, time is yours.
Thank you, moderator. Okay, presuppositions in the slogans of Indonesian universities. Journal of Bina Bahasa, volume 7, number 2, page 1 until 16. Year 2013, author Atika Puspasari, reviewer Azzahra Allya Fitri, date November 6, 2021. Next. Introduction. Presuppositions have different definitions, but overall, these are assumptions based on a statement or a speech. Presuppositions is one of the parts of pragmatics that contributes greatly to language teaching. Presupposition is used to help and build good communication because it attracts the receiver to be critical in a particular. The author was intrigued to examine further the slogans used because she wanted to show that what the relationship is between linguistic presupposition and critical thinking. Next. The aims of this study were to identify and analyze the presuppositions implied in the slogans of Indonesian universities, which are listed in the General Directorate of Higher Education website, and to discuss pragmatic transfer found in the English version of those slogans. Next. This article used a qualitative method, and the author used documentation technique in collecting the data. Next. Findings and discussion. First, existential presupposition. The existential presupposition is found in the utterance that has entity name or in any definite noun phrase. Example, innovation for the glory and truth means innovation is needed to reach the glory and to find the truth. Second, actual presupposition. First, shared generic context. Innovation means new way for improvement. Glory means the source of fame and success. Third means something to do with what is believed to be wrong or right. Second, share situational context. Innovation means the management system of the university, the research and the teaching and learning process. Glory means leading is winning. Third means the standard originality and good values that should always be kept in the journey of reaching the glory. The third, shared discourse context. The mission of this university is to be leading and innovating to reach the glory through science and technology, and hard work for a true professional academic quality, as well as a strong commitment for the society and the nation through education, research, and devotion. Next. Conclusion. This article concludes that out of 7 types of presuppositions, there were only 2 types of presuppositions. The first, existential presuppositions of the slogans indicate the identities and strengths of Indonesian universities. The second, actual presuppositions provide clearer ideas of the slogans compared to the potential presuppositions. Next. Critical review. This article is a good article to read because it explained about presuppositions in the slogans of Indonesian universities. This article also gives example of the forms each with simple vocabularies that authors choose can help us easier to understand this article. Unfortunately, this article has some shortage, that is, they didn't explain all the types of presuppositions itself. Advantages. The advantages of this article is we can understand about types of presuppositions, and they explain one by one the types of presupposition. It means this article good to read for beginner. Disadvantages. The disadvantages of this article is there are some mistyping on this article, so make the reader, especially new learner, a little bit confused. Okay, back to moderator.
Okay, thank you, Azzahra, for your review. Next review will be read by Vika. To Alifficka, Lourensia, time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Nessa. The article is Presupposition Analysis in Some Selected Consumer Advertisement Slogan of Jakarta Post. Next. In the Journal of English Education, Volume 5, Number 1, pages 141 until 148. In the year 2016, and the authors Sinta Ananda, Marwito Wihadi, and Yayan Suryana. Reviewer Alifficka Gusti Lourensia, and that 6 November 2021. Introduction. Advertisement is one of the methods by which advertisers deliver information to consumers in order to introduce and promote their product or service. In other words, advertising is an unavoidable element of modern life that has the ability to affect others. When readers want to see or buy something, they need advertising, which is usually in the form of a picture and a slogan. Indirectly, the phrase aims to provide consumers with information about a potential product or service, and advertisers use persuasive language to achieve this goal. Advertisers apply a pragmatic approach in communicating the purpose of persuading the reader. A presupposition is something that the speaker assumes is the case before making an utterance. That is how people can describe their thought process in analyzing implicit meanings, and how listeners or readers can capture other information beyond their interpretation. Research question or aims. This research aims at finding the types of presupposition and describing the function of presupposition in advertisement found in consumer advertisement slogans of the Jakarta Post newspaper. Method. The research method which used in this research is descriptive qualitative method. Finding and discussion. In this research, the writer found 70 consumers advertisement in the Jakarta Post newspaper on March 1st until 31 to 2016 editions and selected 20 data slogans of consumer advertisement. The result of analysis above, the writer found 20 presupposition and only found 4 types of presupposition in the slogans of consumer advertisement of the Jakarta Post. In conclusion, existential presupposition is type of presupposition often used by the advertisers to convey their products or service to consumers. Conclusion. In conclusion, not all types of presupposition and function of presupposition in advertising can be found in the slogans of consumer advertisement in the March 2016 edition of the Jakarta Post newspaper. It has an impact on advertisers' assumptions about what they want supplied and allows advertisers to have varied presuppositions. Consumer requirements and sales targets influence it, with the goals of increasing sales of advertised items and service. Critical review. The study discussed about presupposition analysis in some selected consumers advertisement slogans of Jakarta Post. And in the Jakarta Post consumer commercial slogans, not every form of presupposition and function of presupposition can be found. Advantages. In this study, the author explained about the finding of presupposition in the advertisement slogan of the Jakarta Post and explained what presupposition are found in the study. And in this research, the author used sentences and word choice that are easy for readers and to understand. Disadvantages. Every part described in this article is good, but in the discussion section, the author attached an explanation that is too long. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Vika, for your review. Now, the last speaker will read his review. So, Aidin, time is yours.
Okay, the next review is by me. Studies on semantic and pragmatic. Title: Analysis of preposition and its function in advertisement. Journal Canadian Social Science, volume number page, volume 3, number 4, page 5 to 660. Year 2007, author Wang Xingfang, reviewer Aidin Hasan, date 6 November 2021. Introduction. Preposition is a subject widely studied by linguistics nowadays, but actually it is first studied by philosophers and logicians. Therefore, the analysis of function of presupposition in advertisement will be carried out from the following three aspects: preposition and the language of advertising, presupposition and the information of advertising, presupposition and the strategy of advertising. Research question or aim. This paper is placed on presupposition and it is pragmatic for function of advertising. Language from three angles: presupposition and advertising information, presupposition, psychology, and market strategy of advertisement. Research method. The researcher used descriptive method and also the example of the advertisement that show the presupposition. Finding and discussion. From the analysis, the research found two things. First one, the function of the presupposition in advertising and presupposition psychology and market strategy of advertisement. On the function of the preposition in advertising, there is a preposition and the language of advertising, preposition and the information of advertising, and the preposition and the strategy of the advertising. Then in the preposition, psychology and marketing strategy of advertisement, there is also preposition and it is orienting function, presupposition and it is concealment function, preposition and it is targeting function, and preposition and it is distance shorten function. Conclusion. The use of preposition can help advertisement to enlarge the amount of information, make up for the shortcoming brought by short time and space, and furthermore can attract customers to do the inference themselves. Critical review. This article is very complex and have a good explanation about the presupposition used in advertising. However, there is no sort what kind of advertisement that used for analysis. Advantage and disadvantage. Advantage. we can understand about the presupposition and how to analyze in advertising. Disadvantage, there is no source what kind of the advertisement that use presupposition. Thank you. Back to moderator.
Okay, so thank you for all the speakers that have been present their article review. Now we will read the gap from each of the articles. Next, Aidin. Okay, so the first article, the study examined the presupposition and entailment found in the angels and demons film dialogue. This research is expected to be a reference for the public to clarify the meaning and type of presupposition or pre-budgets and entailment in the film script by means of descriptive qualitative method. But this study only discusses existential presupposition, while factive and counterfactual is not discussed in the result of the study. For the second article, on this article, the researchers analyzed the analysis of presupposition in advertisement and the functions of it, but their specific presupposition triggers that found in discussion. Meanwhile, the presupposition also can be used and found in written text or verbal speech. Next, Aidin. The third article. This article discussed presupposition analysis in some selected consumer advertisement slogan of the Jakarta Post. So, on the other hand, this article also mentions types of presuppositions. For article, on this article, the researcher analyzed about presupposition in the slogans of Indonesian universities. Presupposition have 7 types. That is existential presupposition, factive presupposition, lexical presupposition, structural presupposition, non-factive presupposition, counterfactual presupposition, and actual presupposition. But this article only focuses on 2 types of presupposition, which are existential presupposition and actual presupposition. The fifth article, or the last article, out of the 7 types of presupposition, the author only discussed 3 types, which are existential, lexical, and counterfactual. The author also analyzed the presupposition found in use. So here are the possible research. First, presupposition and entailment found in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory movie dialogue. Second, the analysis of presupposition in speech. Third, type of presupposition analysis in social media. Fourth, an analysis of type of presupposition in magazines. And fifth, analysis of presupposition in English novels. Okay, so that's all from our group. I'm sorry if we made any mistakes. And then thank you for your attention.